today's video, I'm going to show you how to attract high quality women, how to get the 9's and 10's, the types of girls that you've probably always wanted but never felt like you deserved, the types of girls that you always felt were way out of your league. Now, the advice that I'm going to give you is going to be very controversial. It's going to go against a lot of the mainstream narratives, a lot of the stories that you've heard about what makes a guy attractive. So let's crack in. Now, the majority of the advice out there, a lot of this typical type of dating advice that you'll hear, to be able to get these types of women, you need three things: looks, money, status. You got to be really handsome, really tall, you got to make a ton of money, make 7 figures, have Ferraris and all these luxury brand clothing and a ton of status and fame. And this is what men really believe they need to be attractive. Now, there's a couple problems with this. Number one is that high quality women, like the types of women we're talking about here, the 9's and 10's, they've been getting male attention since they were really young. And the way that men have been trying to approach them and impress them has usually been with these more superficial items and superficial traits, right? Guys are talking about how much money they make, how much they can bench press, how big their muscles are. And this is all these women have gotten for the majority of their lives. So at this point, if a girl is in her early or even mid-20s, she's developed what I call banner blindness. She is blind and a little bit numb to all of this outward superficial type of stuff. She's been with the guy that's 6'5". She's been with the guy that's famous. She's been with the guy that invites her out on yachts and expensive dinner parties. She's had all of those things. So if you try to play that game, you're just being categorized with every other guy. And then also the other thing to keep in mind is if you're playing this game, there's always going to be another guy that's more successful than you, that is better looking than you, and that is probably more famous and has more status than you. So if that's all you're bringing to the table and what you're leading with, the moment she finds somebody else who's better than you in any of these categories, that's it, you're done, right? She's going to move on to this other guy. So this is the first issue with this overall approach of trying to lead with look, money, and status to get those top women. But, I'm shooting this out of Miami, and this is all I see. This is the way that guys try to, quote unquote, game women. They pull up in their Lamborghini and they talk about how successful they are, and it's just, to be honest, not attractive. Now, the other problem with this, aside from the fact that even if you do get women and they might leave you if they find somebody better, and you being taken advantage of for all these things, is a deeper issue. And the issue is that if this is what you're leading with, you're basically telling yourself and her that you are not attractive just the way that you are, right? You're almost placing all of your value into all of these external, superficial possessions and traits rather than you being the value, your communication being the value, your energy being the value, your mindset being the value, the way that you carry yourself being the value that you have to bring. So I'm here to tell you, because I've dated a lot of the most beautiful women in the world, both in the US and in Europe and South America, and I will tell you that they are sick of men trying to lead with looks, money, and status. It is still great to have these things. They're good assets. But what these women really crave is a genuine connection. And the way that they get that genuine connection is when a guy stops trying to impress them, stops seeking their validation, stops trying to tell them what they want to hear or what he thinks they want to hear, but rather speaks his own truth. And I'm a huge believer in the idea of vulnerability. And actually not only telling women the things that are good about you, the things that are your accomplishments and strong suits, but actually sharing your weaknesses. Telling her that, yeah, I've been through some trauma. I'm actually going through some difficult emotions right now. I'm not perfect. I have these things that are mistakes or things that I'm doing not so well in my life that I'm working on. So showing her the full picture, telling her what you're good with and what you're not so good with, and being open and honest and direct with her about your insecurities, about your feelings, about your desires, about your wants, and about your boundaries, and communicating all of it, and not just showing her the flashiness in the sizzle. Because when you can do that, you stand out from every other guy, right? The moment that you can start to own your imperfections, your rough edges, she, in her mind, is gonna be like, oh wow, this guy's actually not trying to impress me. This guy's being real with me, he's being authentic, and I typically don't get that. And she's going to become very attracted to you. Because on the other side, she's also gonna feel like she can be comfortable with you about her own imperfections. Because you might not realize this, but the most beautiful women in the world a lot of the time are the most insecure. And when you can be real and you can be raw and you can just speak your truth to her, say what you want, what you don't want, she can then let her guard down and feel safe and feel secure and open up to you as well. So this is exactly actually what we teach to our clients inside of the accelerator, because we work with guys that are 6, 7, even 8-figure earners. Guys that are crushing it in their businesses and careers, but just can't really crack the code when it comes to dating these top tier women. And it's because of this fatal mistake that they're making, that they're always leading with looks, always trying to lead with money, with status, with clout, rather than leading with authenticity and vulnerability. And this one shift, if you learn how to do this the right way, will transform your dating life forever. So if you want to learn more about what working with us looks like, what I invite you to do, click the link below, check out our 7-minute documentary, apply, book in a call, and we will chat with you about the accelerator.